बंसीधरा कन्हैया
बंसीधरा कन्हैया
घनश्याम सुंदरा
घनश्याम सुंदरा
बंसीधरा कन्हैया
बंसीधरा कन्हैया
घनश्याम सुंदरा
घनश्याम सुंदरा
गिरिधारी गोपबाला
गिरिधारी गोपबाला
वृंदावन विहारा
वृंदावन विहारा
गिरिधारी गोपबाला
गिरिधारी गोपबाला
वृंदावन विहारा
वृंदावन विहारा
बंसीधरा कन्हैया
बंसीधरा कन्हैया
घनश्याम सुंदरा
घनश्याम सुंदरा
गोविंद माधवा हरे
गोविंद माधवा हरे
मधुसूदन मुरारे
मधुसूदन मुरारे
गोविंद माधवा हरे
गोविंद माधवा हरे
मधुसूदन मुरारे
मधुसूदन मुरारे
जनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च शंससि यच्छ्रेयहेतयोरेकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम् श्रीभगवानुवाच सन्न्यासकर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते सांख्ययोगौ पृथक् बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम् यत्साङ्ख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं तद्योगैरभिगम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति ज्ञानं मार्गवा लक्ष्यं वा Is knowledge a path or a goal? Usually we think there are two paths. Bhagavan also has mentioned that lokesmin dvividanishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena viginamiti. Bhagavan himself has said there are two paths in this whole creation towards liberation. Lokesmin dvividanishta pura prokta maya. I spoke about it long time back. Kambalata. Through the Upanishads, not in Bhagavad Gita, to the words Rishi, to the Rishis, through the Upanishads, through Shruti Vakya is already spoken about that. And that Jnana Yogena Sankhyana. So Jnana Yoga is what is called Sankhya. Samyak Khyayate iti Sankhya. Well defined. Kya, to say. No, don't say kya hai. Kya, khyati. In Sanskrit, kya, kha, kh, khyati means to say. So kya, khyayate. So that is spoken. Well, that is samyak. So Sankhya means what is well defined. So jnanam by nature is clarity. Is it not? What is knowledge after all? When you send your children to school, they need to get the clarity about things. The vagueness should go away. About anything that they come to read or learn, there is clarity about, oh, this is what it is. That is what is Sankhya. So, Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam and Karma Yogena Yoginam. Yoga, when you say, usually it means Karma Yoga in context of Gita. Now, if you go to Patanjali, yoga is different. So, even though Bhagavan has said it is a path, Nishtha, Dvivida Nishtha. Nishtha means to abide, to stay, to follow. Nishtha. Not Nistha. Stha means to stay. Sthanam. Sthanam means a place. Pakistanam. Hindustanam. Afghanistanam. Station. In English, it becomes station. Sthan. Stand. So it's all that's the Indo-European language connection. So even though Bhagavan has said Jnanam is a pantha or a path, but really when you look at it, Jnanam itself is complete. So Aham Brahma Asmi iti Jnanam asti chet tvam Brahmeva. If you have the clarity of thinking that you are Brahman, there is nothing to engage in to do anything. Jnavakartam jnanam natu karakartam. Shankaracharya writes it very clearly. Quite warm here. I don't know. It's quite warm. I'm sweating almost. It doesn't matter. You can keep the door or windows open if possible. Or windows are closed. Anyway, you are comfortable, I know that. So, Jnanam is by itself is to remind you who you are. Right? It is not something to be done. So, Jnapakartam Jnanam. What you have forgotten, Upanishad is trying to make you remember. It is not something that you have to do. Jnana nishtha eva jnana abhyasa. Practice of knowledge is nothing but being aware of who you are. Nothing that needs to be engaged in as an action. All other things, whether japa you do or rituals and upasanas, they are all under the bracket of karma only. Ajnana bhuvau eva karma. In the field of ignorance alone is action. Anyway, why I am saying this is, Bhagavan has said, Et sankyehi prapyate sthanam. Et jnanena prapyate sthanam. Tat yogaihi karma yogaihi api labhyate. Whatever is that which is obtained by knowledge is obtained by karma yoga also. Then why is there are two parts then? Why there are two things you mentioned? One is knowledge, recognizing which you are there already. Another one, the path of karma, requires purification of the mind, followed by karma, followed by jnana prapti. Gaining knowledge under the tutelage of a teacher, and then Shravana Manana Nididhyasanadi Sadhanena, then Jnana Prapti Anantaram eva. So, as I said yesterday at the end, one is a short path, another is a long path, but result is the same. If you are to go to somewhere, let's say I'm coming from where I was, from the host place to here, I can walk also. By the time I come, you would have gone. Around 6 o'clock I decided, let me walk today to go to the temple. I'll reach here by 8. I reached all right. You would have come by car. So So the point where we want to reach is the same, but one is the path that takes enough time not because of any other reason other than preparation of the mind. Impurities are there, vasanas are there, karma vasanas are there. Our priorities are not clear. So naturally, such a person will take more time to overcome, also build up a viveka, vairagya, ityadi, so that the mind slowly gets tuned, refined, mature, and finally had to choose jnanam or total surrender to Bhagavan, because of which also you can get jnanam. And that way, one has to reach the point where the jnani would have reached already. But the path of jnanam is difficult. For majority of the people, it is difficult. That is the reason why Bhagavan said, karma yogaha karma sanyasa vishishyate. Is it not? Is it? Tayosta karma sanyasa karma yogo vishishyate. Why? That's where most of us are. We need to have our mind fixed on the final goal, as I said yesterday. Charamalakshye manasthavanasthavaya. Mind must be established in the Charamalaksham. And then you understand where you are, how far you are. If I want total liberation and complete happiness, and which is my nature, where am I right now? Aham Satchidananda Swarupaha. I am the nature of pure existence, consciousness and bliss. But do I feel that way? Even though I am Sat, I am very afraid of Satupochu. I am afraid of death. Even though my nature is Sat. My nature is Ananda, that is what pointed out, but do I feel that way? Many times where I am unhappy only. So what is that which causes me to be away from who I am? What causes this difference? What I am and what I actually, my real nature is. So those obstacles have to be overcome. Therefore, Karma Yoga is given importance by the Lord. Ultimately, whatever the Jnana Yogi would reach or establish himself, that is where the Karma Yogi also eventually reach there. They are not competitive, they are complementary. One cannot say, oh, Jnanam is better than Karma. We can say so, but only when you practice, you realize it's not that easy. Because it requires a purity of mind, Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, one-pointedness, Jnana Prapti, Jnana Nishtha, abundance in that knowledge. It is like one boy whose dad is a surgeon, and the surgeon was very eager to show his boy what he would do on an operating theatre. So he made a video of that. See, here is a patient, and now I see how I am, cutting open the part of the body and opening that part, and then I show you how this is to be removed. And the young boy was looking at it. Oh, very nice. I want to be a surgeon when I grow up. Now you go to school. You are 5th grade. Why should you? So to cut this body into different and take out what is unwanted. Why should I go to 5th grade? To learn all history, geography is nothing to do with surgery. I want to be a surgeon. What am I learning about English grammar? Do you think that it is correct then? That I don't need to learn English, geography and math and this and that, but I'm not going to use for surgery? So even though it looks unrelated, but it makes the child mature. Overall maturity has to happen for the child to proceed further. In the same way, Jnanam, even though really speaking is a direct path, no doubt, but to prepare the mind for that, Karma Yoga Vishishya. Unavoidable it is. Very rarely you will find a person fully qualified and who does not need to go through the path of karma to do purity of mind, etc. Alright. Now, Bhagavan says, if you do not go through the path of yoga and jump into sannyasa, meaning jnanam, jnananishta, you will be in trouble. Sanyasastu mahabaho
Sanyasastu mahabaho
dukkhamaptum ayogataha
dukkhamaptum ayogataha
yoga yukto munir brahma
yoga yukto munir brahma
nachirena digacchati
nachirena digacchati
sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena digacchati. Ayogataha, one who has not followed the path of yoga. Yogataha, one who has gained the maturity through yoga. Ayogataha, for the one who has not gained the required purity of mind, etc., through the path of yoga. To such a person, sannyasaha dukkam aptum, dukkena aptum. Dukkena aptum means it's hard to obtain sannyas. Again, sannyasa is not just a kavi vastra you wear and move around. That anybody can do. Jatilo mundi lunjita kesha kashayambara bahukruta vesha Pashyanna vijana pashyati moodaha yudara nimittam bahukruta vesha. During Shankaracharya's time. At that time itself, people were doing that. Think of after 12, 13 years, 13 centuries later. There are also a lot of roadside Romeos are there wearing Kavi Vastra and not having any idea about what is moksha. Then they just keep talking about so many things. Pranayam karo, to stand upside down. See, what happens is when your clarity is not there, everything else looks, very, whatever is appealing to people, you do it. Short-term benefits. I'm very angry on you. I want to kill you. Freshly, I'll kill you. So, without the correct understanding, you do any shortcut, it is short-lived. So, if one has not understood the path clearly, which requires the mind to be free of all impurities, Bhagavan later on in 13th chapter, he enumerates 20 values and says, this is jnanam. Amanitvam, adam, ditvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atmanigraha, indiyarteshu vairakyam, ityadi, etc. 20 values, why, what did he say finally? Etat jnanam iti proktam. Ajnanam yatatonyata. This is called knowledge. So, he didn't mention opening the book and reading. Shravanam is not mentioned. Maranam he did not mention. What did he mention? Absence of pride, absence of pretentiousness, non-injury, forgiveness. What is it connected to? Jnanam. These are all sahakarika sadhanani. These are all helpful means to make your mind pure. So, ayogataha, ashuddha manasaha, a person whose mind is not pure, sanyasaha, meaning jnananishta dukkena aptum. Very difficult to obtain. No shortcut here. As I said, just merely wearing this vastra does not make you at all. But just because I wear a white coat, I become a doctor. Just because I wear a black coat, can I become a lawyer? Lawyer. I mean, I have to study, understand the whole principle of it. So, just because an external vastram does not make you. Or if I don't wear the vastram, but I have the knowledge, should I bother about that then? If I am not wearing this, let's say when I am going to the airport and then catching, I don't usually wear this. Why? Because they will make me like a Christ. Always when somebody wears a different dress, they have a doubt. This must be a terrorist. So, when I have the knowledge, external things do not matter. If I don't have knowledge, external things doesn't matter. Both ways. External things are mainly for people to understand. Okay, see, when you wear a white coat and move around, they know, hey, here, if I have a problem, I can go to this person. If I have medical issues, I can go to a doctor. Interesting thing is, when you go to a doctor, you don't talk about legal issues. My neighbor is encroaching in my property. What do I do? I'll give some medicine. What else the doctor can say? Or you don't go to the lawyer and say, I have a stomachache, what should I do? Sue! What? Sue to your stomach? But that is the language, you know. But the interesting thing is, to Swami, they ask all questions. They expect all answers from this. Swamiji, my son never listens to me. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. You're asking me, I have no experience of it also. That they are expecting the answer. Oh, Swamiji, you have to tell us. So we are merely an external guard does not make you a sannyasi. So, and if purity of mind is not there, knowledge is like you are putting the milk into a pot which is full of holes, holy pot. Now, you pour milk, what will happen then? Nothing will remain. Similarly, the mind has so many different impurities. You put the knowledge, even the your best of the teacher you get, you will not get it. It will not retain. So, ayogataha dukkena sanyasaha aptum. It is so hard for a person to have nishtha and jnanam if the mind is unprepared. On the other hand, Munihi yoga yuktaha. Munihi means mananashilavan, muni ityuchyate. A person of contemplation, mananashilavan, one who has the natural habit of contemplation. Meaning, after having gained that knowledge through Shravanam, listening, one has to chew on that, think about it, get the essence of it. And that process is called mananam. Mananashilavan, munihi, mauni. He is in general quiet. Why? Because his mind is occupied in clarity, in thinking and analyzing and contemplation. So, such a munihi, mauni, yoga yuktaha, meaning chitta shuddhi yuktaha. Chitta ekakrata yuktaha, endowed with the purity of mind and ability to concentrate correctly. For such a person, Brahmatvam, na achirena gacchati. Achirena digacchati. Na achirena gacchati. Chira means long time. Achira means short. Nachirena, not long, adhigacchati. He comes to gain. Nachirena adhigacchati, not nachirena. Then it will come opposite. Huh? In Sanskrit, one you have to be finished. It is just opposite. Nachirena adhigacchati, not too long. Quickly. Because the path is quick, that's what I said. The quick path is because prepared, mind is prepared, knowledge is in right place, clarity is there, contemplation is there, such a person, Brahma adhigacchati na chirena. Not very long, erlong, you would get it. That is the difference between one who is prepared and unprepared. Preparation takes place through karma yoga. And one who is prepared, then such a person can take the path of Sankhya. But the final result is going to be the same. So don't get disappointed. Somebody asks, Swamiji, how long it will take? I'm just now in the baby step in the spiritual path. Yeah, probably in few hundred lives. Few hundred lives? I am actually considering. Bhagavan says 1,000 lives. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapatyate. Bahu means any amount it can be. So, it takes time because we are carrying so much of karma vasanas in our head, and overcoming that will take many, many lives. But one who intensifies that process, then burning of those vasanas are also quicker. Knowledge quickly burns than anything else. That's why Bhagavan said, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. There's nothing that can purify you than correct knowledge. Continuing here, next he says, Yoga yukto vishuddhatma Vijitatma jitendriyah Sarva bhutatma bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate Yoga yukto vishuddhatma Vijitatma jitendriyah Sarva bhutatma bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate. Kaha yoga yuktaha? Who is said to be the person who has rightly practiced karma yoga? Is it just doing your action properly and then there ends it? So there are many people who say, I do my duties properly, Swamiji, I am a karma yogi. No. It is because of your action without any selfishness that alone can make a karma yogi. No. Yoga yuktaha, how he qualifies himself? He is engaging in the path of action with the right frame of mind, and the right frame of mind being keeping the goal of liberation very clear. There is no ambiguity in that. Otherwise, it is merely a selfless service. There it ends. Then nothing further it can go. So, yoga yuktaha, first qualification of a yoga yuktatvam is vishuddha atma. The purity of mind is there. Intention is pure. There is no hidden agenda in such a person's action, intentions. And he's dealing with the people and situations. There is no mine. What do I get? And there is no action that is born out of revenge, jealousy, greed. The action is meant for a purpose which is loka kalyanartham. And inner purity includes love for God, devotion to God. So Vishuddha Atma, the mind which is pure, and Vijita Atma, Vishuddha Atma, Vijita Atma. And then he puts one more, Jita Indriya. So here we should understand Vishuddha Atma, Vishuddha Manaha, Vijita Atma, Vijita Manaha. One was conquered the mind also. Because the next one, Jitendriya, when it is said, it is also conquering of the senses. So, one is purity of mind while dealing with the world outside. Second is, he is able to make his mind able to remain with him without it being wandering around. It may not be negative, but uncontrolled. Uncontrolled means what? It thinks about what happened yesterday, day before, or last year, So this mind may not be something negative, but it is moving about constantly. And you cannot suddenly arrest them also. Arresting the mind is not good. Because for a short period of time you can hold the mind. Afterwards it will again go. It is slowly by the practice of various many practices that are prescribed, mind can be tamed. That's why Yado Nischaradi in 6th chapter, you will talk about that. So the mind which is able to keep itself in the one-pointed attention, mind is not wandering here and there, such a person is called Vijita Atma, Vijita Manaha, Vijita Pravritti. The mind is not extroverted. Now our mind is so extroverted, I'm telling you, especially from the small young children onward, they cannot live without their phone. The phone you take even to the places where you don't take anybody else in your life. Restroom. You don't take your wife also, their husband. But your iPhone goes there. And without that, they feel so agitated, disturbed. How we have allowed ourselves to be disturbed by a small device which is, or without playing a game, video game, Netflix, YouTube, what is that, Instagram, so many such distractions. Titbit. What is it? What is it? TikTok. Every day I'm eating. Every moment, everything that you do must be recorded, as though you are writing your own autobiography. Everything should be recorded. So the mind is more and more getting distracted now. We do not know how to control the mind at all. Controlling the mind considered as a sin nowadays. Why should you need to control the mind? No, not control. Master the mind. That's good. Change the name, that is. So, master of the mind, which is called Shama, and master of the senses, Dhamma. Jita Indriya. Sense organs also are controlled in the sense, do not give them more than what is needed. Not that you deny, deprive. Now that will also be not correct. What is needed, you give when it is needed. Not beyond that. Don't go to the other extreme of starving it. As yesterday also said, 9 days no eating, 10th day you should see them. Oh, wow. Like glutton, everything goes. That is not good. Be moderate. So, Jita Indriya, at all various sense perceptions, there must be some amount of moderation. So, Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya and Sarvabhutatma Bhuta Atma. One who has understood one's own self is the self which is of the self of everyone. This comes out of knowledge. Mama Atma eva Sarvabhutanam Atma. My own self alone is operating through all other living beings, everyone whom I may meet. Such a person, Kuruvanapi, even engages in action, Nalipyate, is not affected at all. Nalipyate meaning not being tainted or polluted at all. Kuruvanapi, even though in the field of action. Obviously, when you don't do anything, you will never get disturbed. Bhagavan does not talk about that. If you are isolated somewhere where nobody is talking to you, Paramashanti, no disturbance at all. Come out. You will be the cause of disturbance for everybody. Right? So, even Kuruvanapi api, meaning even karmani pravritte api, even when he is engaged in action, karmana na lipyate, he will not be disturbed by the action that he does. Why? Because he has understood Mama Atma eva sarvabhutanam Atma. So, when I know that my own self is the self of all, there is no greediness, there is no anger, there is no pride, there is no jealousy. Why? Am I jealousy about me myself anytime? I am very jealous about myself. Doesn't happen. Every day I have to regain my hand. My hand is mine. Why do I need to be greedy about it? So when I recognize that my own self is in the self of everyone, there is no hatred or anxiety or jealousy, greed, pride. This comes out of the correct knowledge. That's why he says, having conquered your mind, the senses, and also you have been continuously practicing the action as a dedication to the Lord, such an individual, having realized through knowledge that my own self is everyone's self, even if he is in the field of action, he is unaffected. So that means moksha or liberation even while you are working in the world, not in isolation or somewhere else. Kuruvanna pinalipyate. So this is the beauty of the Karma Yoga, which prepares you and takes you to the level of perfection and maturity. And knowledge only adds to that more maturity and makes it as an experience. So that is the reason why he specifically defined who is a Yoga Yukta. Because previous verse he said, Ayogataha Sanyasaha Dukkhena Aptum. Yoga Yuktaha Brahma Nachirena Adhigacchati. Who is the Yoga Yukta? He himself is explaining that. But it's said the best commentary of Gita is Gita itself. Because he himself will define all his terms. Not that he is assuming that you know it. So Yoga Yukta, having explained who is Yoga Yukta. Now he says, when I talk about Kuruvanna Pinalipyate, even when he is engaging in action, he is not affected. That needs to be explained, right? The next two verses is about how even while engaging in action, he is not disturbed. This is a very beautiful set of verses, verse number 8 and 9. Naiva kinchit karomiti
Naiva kinchit karomiti
yukto manyeta tattvavid
Yukto manyeta tattvavid
Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran
Pashyan shruvan sprishan jigran
Ashnan gachan swapan shvasan
Ashwan gachan swapan shvasan
Pralapan visrajan grihnan
Pralapan visrajan grihnan
Unmishan nimishan api
Unmishan nimishan navi
Indriyani indriyarteshu
Indriyani indriyarteshu
Vartanta iti dharayan
Vartanta iti dharayan
Naiva kinchit karomiti Yukto manyeta tattvavid Pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran Ashnan gachan swapan shvasan Pralapan visrajan grihnan Unmishan nimishan api Indriyani indriyarteshu Vartanta iti dharayan. The main point is Aham kinchit na karomi. I am not doing anything. Yesterday also I told you, when you are dreaming, I know you remember? You remember? When you are dreaming and tiger and running. And you're sweating and your BP has increased. But you are lying on the bed. Now, tell me, who are you? The one who say on the bed you are lying down, or the one who is running?
One is lying.
Don't say both. You cannot be both.
The one that's lying down.
Neither.
No, that is also not right. There should be only one only.
The one that's lying down.
It is neither.
Neither? Why? Neither.
The one that is
Really speaking, who you are, because when one ends, other doesn't end. So which does not end is what you are. That which ends you are not. At the end of the dream, even while during the dream you are lying down. At the end of the dream you are lying down. So which is the real
the one
in this context? So lying down person in this context is more real than the one who is going through the experience of the dream. So think about it. While you are running, being chased by the tiger, you realize that actually you are lying down. What will be your attitude? Think. While you are being chased by the tiger, running, sweating, suddenly you realize actually you are lying down. What will be your state at that time? Look at the tiger. What do you mean? You are not true. As much as I am not true. Is it not? Let us see if you are on a drama stage and you are acting a role, another person is also acting a role. You act the role all right, but fully aware that you are acting only. You are an actor, not a character. Behind the scene, in the green room, you are friends. But now you are a hero and the other person is a villain. So you may probably act like a hero, other person will act like a villain. But both of you realize that really these are not either villain or neither you are a villain or a hero. Why you go to the other person? I am not what I am portraying myself to be. This is only on the drama stage. Really speaking, I am not this. Even as I do all the things, when I remember this, one thing is for sure, I may act, but I don't give any reality to what I do. Even if the entire world gives reality to what I am, I don't. Is it not on this drama stage? A person does and then laughs when he comes. I did a very good act. I liked it. So also, a person who is acting as husband or wife, son or the daughter, parent, whatever it is, even as those transactions are taking place at the relative plane, really you need to remind yourself, Naiva kinchit karomi. This is the reason why daily meditation upon your real self is necessary. Then only the transactional world and its challenges can be met with a smile. Otherwise, we'll be dragged into that very role and we get roller coaster. The role will take us up and down, here, there, when we do not realize that it is only a role that I am playing there. Remind yourself again and again and again. Na eva kinchit karomi. Aham atma, me the self, is not an actor here at all. Meaning, one who is acting is a false personality there. Yukto manyeta. Yuktaha tattvat manyeta. A man of correct knowledge. Tattvam vettiyaha tattvavit. One who knows the tattvam, atma tattvam, the nature of the self. Manyeta, he thinks. Yuktaha, one who is jnana yuktaha. One who is endowed with the correct knowledge. What is his attitude? Na eva kinchit karomi. Not doing. Now, let me ask this question. Are you all breathing? Huh? Now, who are all not? They have called the 911. while breathing?
Yes.
Are you still doing the act of breathing? What effort you are doing to breathe? Inhale, exhale. Lot of work. If you have asthma, then of course it's a work to do. Otherwise, you don't even care. It goes on. Do you have to do anything about it? After having had your dinner, you have to work on digesting it. If you are beyond 70, 80 years, you have to go. What I just had was to the school. That's not what I'm going to do. When you have taken your lunch or dinner, it happens, right? You are not doing anything. So in our own body itself, certain things are happening where you are not doing anything about it. Are you getting aged or not? Swami, don't remind us. Yes, your hair is not falling. That is happening. Your nail is growing. Body is getting old. Are you doing anything about it? No. So when I ask parents, how are the children growing up? What are you doing? Nothing. They are growing. Are you going to pull their leg and every day or night to go and pull their head? You're not doing that. So many things that are there in our own body is happening where you are not doing anything. In fact, 90% of your things that are what is happening in your body, you have nothing to do with that. Externally, you look at a tree. In my backyard, I have a beautiful tree, Swamiji, avocado tree. What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Probably pour some water. What else? So if you look at the world around also, what is you are doing in that? In the same way here, when I understand that things that are taking place are according to the activity of the senses. Indriyani indriya arteshu vartante. Sense organs are in touch with sense objects because their nature is that. Eyes are there, it will see. Ears are there, it will listen. Nose is there, it will smell. Tongue is there, it will taste. Skin is there, it will touch. Mind is there, it will have thoughts. So, you are able to look at them as naturally they have their pravrittis. Indriyani indriyarteshu vartante iti dharayan. Holding this understanding of sense organs are in touch with sense objects, that is their nature. Even as he is Pashyan, he is seeing while seeing, Shrunvan while listening, Shrunvan Sprishan while he is touching, Pashyan, Shrunvan Sprishan, Jigran while smelling. Then Ashnan while eating, Gachan while walking, Swapan while sleeping, Shwasan while breathing, Pralapan while talking, Visarjan when he is excavating, Grihnan while one is taking, grabbing, Unmishan when one is opening the eyes, Nimishan when one is closing the eyes. In all this, Krishnan, Raman, everything is included there. Sometimes when you say Pashyan, Shrunman, Shrunman, Ashnan, Gachan, Shropan, Swanan, Raman, Krishnan, Govindan, you can add that. So while seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, walking, talking, breathing, eating, seeing, sleeping, in all condition, his understanding is what? Aham na eva kinchit karomi. Not doing anything. Yukto manye tattvavid. This is knowledge. Now, tell me what is it to do? Knowledge is attention. Where is your attention is important. See, if a singer is singing a Carnatic music or music, if you have the knowledge of that music, your attention is different. If you have a Hindustani artist, vocal artist, and sit here and singing, and I am sitting in that chair, I will be sleeping because I have no idea about what he is doing. Okay, when I don't have a knowledge, my attention is on what? When does he finish? Sometimes I am asked to go and either inaugurate or speak or chief guest, especially this dancing, Bharatanatyam. That's sorry to say, I get so bored. Because many of these kids who are learning Bharatanatyam also learn Taekwondo. The way they do the... Which one you are doing now? Taekwondo or Bharatanatyam? I want to know this. I get tortured. No. You can, if you know that knowledge, what it is, then you appreciate that. So, if I have a knowledge, I have attention. If I have no knowledge, if there is a boy or somebody sitting there and who has nothing to do with Bhagavad Gita, what will you do? Ma, hungry? Then you take him out and then give him something. Or give him a phone and he will do it. So why? His knowledge is not giving him this attention. His knowledge is not there. So, when I have the correct knowledge of who I am, where is my attention while walking, talking, etc.? Not on walking and talking. Right? Even though that happens, and whatever is necessary that is to be done, that is to be done. But my attention definitely is aham na kinchit karomi. See, this is different from karma yoga because in karma yoga, karma is done. But result is not one is worried about, not anxious about. Bhagavan has moved away from that for quite some time because that's why from 3rd to 4 years already transitioned. Even while you are engaging in action, not having the asakti about the result is karma yoga. But having further moved out, he says, even karmani na asakti. Even in the action only it's not attached. Not having attachment to result is the starting point. Having attachment to both the action and the result is where we are now. Is it not? I am so proud of what I am doing and definitely I am attached to the result of action. That's where we are. We are called karmi. Karmin. Then move to the point of karma yogin. Who is that? A person who is action he does. But anxiety over the result is not there. He is not too attached to the result. Now coming to the next point of, even in the action he is not attached. How does it happen? Only when his attention is on aham atma akarta. I am non-doer. I am the self. I am the actor, not the character I am playing. It's a role I am playing. Not only the role I am playing as husband, wife, etc. Even the sense organs when they are engaging in actions in their own field, I am only a non-active observer. Sakshi matrameva aham. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavid Pashyan shrunvan sprushan jigran Ashnan gachan swapan swasan Pralavan visrujan jigran Unmishan nimishan api Indriyani indriyarteshu Vartanta iti dharayan. Vartante, they are acting. They are doing their work. This is actually Jitendriya Sthiti. It is not his controlling it. Now you understand how mature it is. Because in the beginning stage it is a control the mind, control the speech, control. Now you don't need to control. Why? It is not, I am doing it. And a person who detaches his self-interest in what he does, naturally has controlled it. Controlled in the sense, he would not do anything out of desire or desire prompted. No. Eyes are seeing, let them see. See, the interesting point is, in Sundarakand, when Hanumanji in Valmiki Ramayana, Hanumanji had been searching for Sita all over the place. He was going all over the place and he was seeing where she is, he's looking for her. He went to the chamber of Ravana also. In the chamber of Ravana, obviously, he was fully drunk. He was lying down with a lot of damsels who were all around him, who were probably not wearing proper clothes also. And he was looking, the whole description is there in Valmiki Ramayana. How they are lying down, how their physical bodies, features are, and all those descriptions as seen by Hanumanji. Some of them are lying there, some of them clothes is not there in proper place, some of them are drunk and rolling on the ground and all that and everything. Then he couldn't find finally Sita at that point. He comes out of the Ravana's palace and he was sitting there. If I am not finding Sita and if I have to go back, what's the point of my coming here? And I failed in my duty. While he's thinking about it, suddenly he felt very bad. I saw all those women. I am a Naishtik Brahmachari. I see all these people, and is it not such a immoral thing that I did? That I saw all these people, women of this kind, and then all that, and I saw drinking, and I saw the liquor, and then mamsa there, and this and that, and I've seen all these things. I have really fallen down from my state of being in thought of God, and I have polluted my mind. He himself is talking about that. And then he says, but my mind is not disturbed at all. Because I didn't have any intention to indulge in them. I'm fine. Now let me look for Sita. See, this beautifully how he picturizes the mind of a yogi. Even though these are all seen, but there is no pollution in the mind. In the same way, but that happened because he is totally devoted to his cause and devoted to Bhagavan. So he was immediately able to bring his mind back. No, my mind is clear. I have not polluted my mind in spite of the fact I witnessed all these things. So too, a person who is adhering to the knowledge or abiding in the knowledge, in spite of engaging in the world, that's why he says, Kurvan napi na lipyate, is not polluted. Why? Because naiva kinchit karomi. I'm not doing anything. So here one should not misconstrue not doing means he's unproductive. He is doing all that, whatever needs to be done, but having no reality or value for anything that is gained out of that. The mind is not processing unnecessarily what is desirable or unhappy about what is undesirable, what he sees or is come interact with in the world through the senses. So the control is more of a mastery. That is the reason even as all the activities are going on. So, if his mind is not affected by whatever is being done by the senses, and he said, Tattvavit, he said very clearly here, right? Yukto manye tattvavit. Who is a tattvavit? That now, next word. See, every word is explained in the next word. He takes a key word from the previous verse. Now I'll tell you what is a tattvavit means. Brahmanyadaya karmani.
Brahmanyadaya karmani.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Lipyate na sapapena.
Lipyate na sapapena.
padmapatramivambasa. Word is used lipyate na. Right? Na lipyate is given in the previous verse. In verse number 7, what did he say? Kuruvan napi na lipyate. Picked up that. What is na lipyate means? As I said, no? Best commentary on Gita is Gita itself. It will explain everything that is said and you have to look for it, where it is connected. Nalipyate. Papena nalipyate. By sin he is unaffected. Nalipyate papena. And the example that he gives is just like a lotus leaf is not affected by the water in which it is sitting. An example that is beautifully brought out by Bhagavan Shankaracharya in Bhagavad, to explain how life is uncertain, like the water that is there on the lotus leaf, that is the first rap song in the world. See how you use the word? It looks like the dancing of the water on the leaf. Right? Nowadays, what is it? Buy, go, you wanna go, we don't want to go. Rap. Shankaracharya is the predecessor to all of that. Then look at the Aigiri Nandini. Whatever rap song you hear, Aigiri Nandini, Nandina, Medini, Vishtavil, like feel like dancing, no? It's a song for dance only. Anyway, so there the example is given as how life is so uncertain. Here, the same example he used, not the same example Vyasa used, actually Shankara used afterwards. Vyasa uses the same example, how the lotus leaf is grown in the water only, but yet it is undisturbed by the water in which it is. Padma patram iva, like a lotus leaf. Ambasa na lipyate. By the water it is undisturbed or unpolluted, so to say. Because of that, there is a thin coating of oil or substance which makes it able to float without being wet. Right? So it is similar to when you are opening the jackfruit. Those who have experienced will know it. You put your hand in opening the jackfruit without preparation, next to 1 month you... Because the substance that will stick onto your hand will never go. On the other hand, if you are a real Malayali, you put a coconut oil right there completely, and then only you put your hand there. No gloves necessary. With the oil you put, then you enter in there and you open, nalipyate. Not at all affected. Just like the layer of oil will protect your hand, or the layer of substance that is protecting the leaf, there is something that you need to do by which you are not going to be disturbed by the action at all. How? Brahmani adaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yata. Karoti. Karma karoti. It's not that he is keeping quiet. Such a person is engaging in action, no doubt about that. He is not a waste, he is not a parasite. Gurudev said, all the sadhus and sannyas should never be a parasite to this world. They should not live an unproductive existence. They should engage in positively into this world. So, karodiyaha, sangam tyaktva karodi, that's a key point there. Where the action and in that action as well as in the result of action, there is no sangha, there is no asakti, there is no attachment. Some people get attached to their seva also. Now you say, okay, now you have done 2 years of in bookshop, now go do something else in the nakshatra. Fine. Just you can do there now. Somebody else can do the book shop thing. No. I am the expert here. I will only do it. That means even in that seva you are getting attached. Even that should not be there. Wherever you are, if you understand seva is for personal growth, it doesn't matter what you are doing. Huh? If you can understand the purpose of the very seva is for my mental purity, where I can selflessly engage in anything that I do, there should not be choosing of which one I want to do. So here, sangam tektva kinchitapi karmani karoti. Any action also he does. Whatever he does. If I have no attachment to the action, why should I do the action at all? Somebody will ask that question. No? If I don't have attachment to anything, what should I do? If you say, do some seva to the people, oh, I should do seva to the people. Yeah. What are they doing there? If I am doing seva, what are they doing there? So, what is the purpose of detached action? Why should I do it? See, mind can never remain without having purpose of doing. If presently my purpose is what? I will do that so that I will get money, I will get comfort, I will do this. So these are the things that are driving us to do anything. So if my mind has to do anything, if I have to engage in something, there must be something which is making me do it. Usually it is personal desires, ambitions, achievements, accomplishments, goals to be accomplished, money, or whatever it be. So, sangam tektva kuru. Without attachment, do. Why? And for what? Where should be my mind then? What should it be doing? While engaging in action, do my best. Then, on where should my mind should be holding? What is that it has to hold on to? Brahmani adaya. In keeping your mind supporting or supported by the thought of Brahman. That's first thing he puts there. Brahmani adaya. Having adaya placed, da is to place. Adanam. Samadhanam, to place it correctly. Samadhi. The word comes from dha. Samadhan word also, samadhi word comes from the word dha. Dha, to place. Adhaya, having samantat. So very well placed, where? Samyak. Samyak adaya, very well, fully placed, where? Brahmani. In that self, which is the self of all, which is the Atman, which itself is when it is the Atman of everyone, it's referred as Brahman. So I, the self, which is the self in all, as earlier we saw, Mama Atma Sarva Bhuta Atma iti. In that self, Adaya, Karmani Kuru or Karmani Karodiya, one who does action, Sangam Tektva, without any attachment to action and the result, such a person, na papena lipyate. Now, what is that Brahmani Adhaya? That word will be explained. He picks up from here. So, keeping the mind in Brahman means what? Is it a thing that I am taking this and putting it here? Then I understand. It's an object which I take in my hand and put it here. So, Adhyaya. Pustakam atra adhaya. I have taken the book and having placed the book here, then I started talking, let us say. So, in that way, can I take a mind, a thing, and take it and put it in Brahman? Then you are objectifying it. Both Brahman and as well as your mind. Now, Bhagavan knows this kind of, you may not think, but any intelligent person will ask that question. How do I place the mind in Brahman? What is the process of that? This is very important question. Now, before he is talking about Brahmani Adaya Karmani Karoti, Sangam Tektva is also used. Sanj means to get attached. Sangha. Sangha is not association, attachment. Association is also called Sangha, right? But here it is more of attachment, not just Sangha, not just association. So he going to explain what is this Sangha Tyaga. Then he will go to the next one, what is keeping the mind in Brahman. Now next verse. Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kayena manasa buddhya.
Kevalairindrayairapi.
Kevalairindrayairapi.
Yogina karma kurvanti.
Yogina karma kurvanti.
Sangam tyaktva shuddhaye.
Sangam tyaktva shuddhaye.
Kayena manasa buddhya. Kevalairindrayairapi. Yogina karma kurvanti. Sangam tyaktva shuddhaye. Sangam tyaktva. Karmani karoti. Earlier word said that. Right? Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotya. Sangam tyaktva. What does that mean? Who does that and for what purpose? Sangha tyaga. What is that Sangha tyaga? Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye karma karoti. The detachment from result of action and action, the purpose is Atma Shuddhi, Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind. Chitta Shuddhaye, Atma Shuddhaye. Who does that? Yoginaha karma kurvanti. Men of correct knowledge and using that in the world of action. Yogi, the word whenever used, it's referring to Karma Yoga. Yoginaha, the men of Karma Yoga. Sangam tektva karma kurvanti atma shuddhaye. They do the action for the sake of purity of mind. What are the kind of action? Whether it is done by the body, kayena, or by the mind, manasa, or by the intellect, buddhya, or by the senses, by indriyani, indriyayi api. Because these are the four different fields or the equipment through which we engage in the world. Physically we do, mentally we do, intellectually we do, with the senses also we do. Seeing, hearing, etc. through the senses. Physical body's action, then mental, mind, thoughts, and by the buddhi, the way we think. The way we think, buddhi, the way we feel and emote, mind, the way we physically do engage in action, my body, and the way we interact through the senses. In all these activities, there is one common factor is, there is no personal desire for which I do it. This is done for the sake of purity of the mind. Now, what is the purity of mind? Many people think purity of mind means pure thoughts. Let us go step by step, we will understand one. Yes, let us say that you have anger. That anger that you have as a thought, are you comfortable with that? I'm very angry. Such a beautiful thought of hating. And the jealousy, oh. So, when you have these thoughts, they make you first of all uncomfortable. And rest of the people are also uncomfortable when you are angry. And somebody is angry, wow, see that? Oh wow, so beautifully. They just don't want to be the person, near the person who is angry or upset, etc. And somebody who is talking about only himself, about oneself. You feel very uncomfortable. What is he talking? So much of me. And you slowly become the iPhone also. iPhone. So everything about me. You feel uncomfortable about that person. About greedy person who wants this and I want that also, you want this also. So you understand, these negativities, so-called negativities are called those which are disturbances in the mind because you are not comfortable with that. What do you mean by not comfortable with that? Meaning it takes you away, you from you. That is where you become uncomfortable. So you take a rubber band and stretch it. It's actually away from its natural situation. When you leave it, what happens? It goes back to its. That's its comfortable condition. Similarly, our mind, whenever we have such impurity, we are moving away from ourselves. And that is the reason why when I'm angry, I want to throw the anger so that I can come back. I want to shout. I want to get rid of it so that I'm done. Then you come back. So all these impurities of the mind actually is making you stay away from your own self. That's why we are uncomfortable with that. Similarly, a person who is going and traveling and finally, home sweet home. Why? Because that's where I am comfortable, that I can be with me. The best time is when you take shower. When you are real self. No waste at all. All that foundation, 2, 3, 4, everything is gone. So, whenever you are away from yourself, that is impurity. So, we'll take that as a premise. So, what is that which makes you not to be with yourself? Your own misunderstanding about yourself is also making you away from yourself. When you are pretentious, you are showing yourself to be somebody else other than yourself. Just external version. Externally, you are appearing to be different from what you are. Just to impress people. Just to gain something. Telling a lie is also it is basically away from your real who you are and what you know. So whenever I engage in telling false or being pretentious, these are all also not just anger, lust, etc. There also you are away from yourself. So ajnanam essentially is depriving you yourself. That is why we have to understand what I am really and what I think I am. What Vedanta says, you are Sat Chit Ananda. You are pure existence and pure consciousness and bliss. Anything else that is other than this, ajnana. It is not just the impurities such as anger, lust, passion, etc. Ajnanameva. That the absence of correct knowledge about yourself itself is ashuddham, greatest impurity. So, therefore, chitta shuddhi artham, meaning what? Jnana prapti artham. Therefore, purification of the mind is not become a good person. Purification of the mind is to realize who I am, to be there. So, yoginaha karma kurvanti jnana prapti jnana nishta prapti artham. And for that, what they do? Even as they are working through the body, mind, intellect, and senses, jnana kayena manasa buddhya kevalai indriye ravi karma kurvanti sangam tektva atmashuddhaye. Because Sangha causes dosha. The attachment causes, why I am attached to anything? Just think about it. Am I attached to something which causes me pain? I have a friend who is always angry. I just love him. You don't do that. If you're causing so much of disturbance to you, you would stay away from that person or that association. Right? So Sangha is always my Sangha is towards something which I am comfortable, happy, etc. So presently, my Sangha is about objects, achievements, recognition, respect, honor, money, wealth, fame. So in that very field alone is my Sangha. Right? And that is what I think will make me comfortable and happy. Now, one who is seeking the Atma-jnanam and moksha understands these sanghas are depriving me who I am. So long as I am continuously engaged in those pursuits, I am depriving myself to myself. Therefore, even as he does any action through the body or mind or the senses and the buddhi, he always remembers I am doing this only to get out of those kind of unhealthy associations of my mind. That comes out of the maturity and understanding, because I should value liberation over everything else. See, it is like this. When one is having a small little child born, party is over. Isn't that true? Until then you can go for late night party, come late also, no problem. Once a child is at home, what is the priority then? For both the parents. That fellow will wake up anytime. Middle of the day, okay, right. Now it will start. He has not no time consciousness. 3 o'clock, no, I know, it's not disturbed. It's not like whenever he's hungry, he'll start. Alarm. So at until that point, your priority is something else. But once the child has come, and he goes. Once a bachelor is there, he goes. Once the wife has somebody has come home, then okay, now I cannot just wander around. So when you have given priority to something, to that extent you sacrifice. Similarly, moksha pradhanatvat. Because of my freedom being the highest priority, anything that disturbs my freedom, I should become asanga from there. So, kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriye api karmani kuruvanti yoginaha sangam tektva. Why? Atma shuddhe moksha praptaye. Through that path of knowledge, etc. So that being the priority of that person, he is able to engage in action, yet through the body, mind, etc. But he is able to let go, not because of pain, not because he knows that this will deprive me the total liberation. Not because somebody told you to do so. Oh, my guru said, therefore I am doing it. Guru is not there, you won't do it. Right? It's not because of somebody I am doing it. Because I know it is not right. See, earlier when you told the child, don't go near the fireplace, it will burn you. But the child will told, don't, it will do. When you are not there one day, then you don't need to tell anything. Go and put, what do you mean? Crazy or what? Now, how did the child come to know that now? Because it was understood. You don't need to teach anymore. Fire, it will burn you. I know it. You don't need to tell me anymore. Right? So, understand the value of freedom, then you don't need to do anything further. That person will naturally pursue that. But until that conviction takes place, there is always do's and don'ts. Until one comes to have one's own personal experience of the glimpse of liberation, one has to be convinced through teachings. Afterwards, obviously, that person will, on his own, on her own, will know what to will disturb my mind and why I should be away from it. Continuing here, then verse number 12, we conclude that with that. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva
कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा
shantimapnoti naishtikim
शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम्
ayukta kamakarena
अयुक्तकामकारेण
phale sakto nibadyate
फले सक्तो निबध्यते
yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadyate. Showing the contrast between yuktaha and ayuktaha. A person of attachment and the person of detachment. So yuktaha means one who is a yogi, eva yuktaha. And yogi is one who has detached himself from action as well as the result of action. And he also knows this asanga is meant for Atma Shuddhi. So what does he do? Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva, leaving aside the result of action. What is the result of it? Not dry and nothing. Naishtigim shantim apnoti. Final peace he gains. When he letting it go, the peace that he gets is complete and full. We have found ourselves, when something is bothering you so much and you are disturbed by that, you realize that it is no more of value to even hold on to that. When you let go of it, shanti, shanti, shanti. This world where you are living today is so much of things to do and etc. In another an hour or two, shanti, shanti, shanti. Why? This world which you consider so important. Yesterday only I bought Swamiji a diamond necklace. Because the weekend I have a marriage to go. Best of the pieces I got. And what I do with that? I have worn it and found it so beautiful. To my face it is so appropriately, very fitting. And then I put it in a nice beautiful jewelry box. Closed it. I put it in a security box. In my home I have a safe. I put lock on that. And then a cupboard which is covering that. Cupboard was covered lock here. And I took that key and put it under my pillow, slept. Shanti kisse hoga. By detachment only you have got, right? After putting the under the pillow, what did you do? Given up. Even that idea, I have this key will open the cupboard will open the safe box will open the box inside the box is. So, even the key which you were so carefully holding on when you went to sleep, what did you do? Sangam tyaktva. Having given up that, what is that you got? Naishtikim shanti. Every day we go through this experience, still we don't understand. Tyagene ke amrutatvam arashu. So a person who recognizes this, yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim. On the other hand, ayuktaha, one who is not endowed with this correct understanding and knowledge, kamakaranatvat, due to the fact of intense desire, phale saktaha, is so attached to the result, and nibadyate, is bound forever. He is self-binding himself. The world never binds you. Does the world bind you? As yesterday also I told. bondage, like a cocoon. That worm creates a saliva out of its own mouth and creates that, kind of a net, creating in such a way, for completely covered by its own, what is that, cocoon. And then it cannot anymore breathe. It either dies or an intelligent human being puts it in the hot water. Dies. Then out of the saliva which is removed from that very, what do you call that? Cocoon. Nice silk saree. What is it? The saliva of a worm. Swamiji, what is that? It is true. Is it not true? I'm not saying something you don't know. So that very cocoon has created its own bondage and dies. Nobody asked you to do that. In the same way, every one of us, we create our own bondage by our own thinking. And we, having created the bondage to ourselves, suffer. Zindagi yek suffer. Whole life is a suffer. What is that we can do? Om Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu,